Lenny Scott was a hard-working, honest prison officer at HMP Alt course in Liverpool. After he discovered a mobile phone on a prisoner, he handed it in to fellow officers, and this led to the arrest of a prison guard who was having an affair with several different prisoners, and Sarah Williams was bringing money and also drugs into the prison. Prison guard Sarah Williams' relationship with Elias Morgan led to the murder of Lenny Scott, who was shot 6 times on the 8th of February 2024 after he left his gym on Peel Road. In 2020 at HMP Alt course on the 26th of March that year, Scott was working as a prison officer. As a result of a search of a cell, he recovered a mobile phone from Elias Morgan. Knowing that the phone contained information about an affair he was having with a female prison officer, Morgan attempted to persuade Mr. Scott to not submit the phone. He offered Scott £1,500 to get rid of it, and that didn't succeed, and then he turned to threats and said he would bide his time, but that he would get him. The prison officer that was having the relationship with Elias was Sarah Williams. She said that she fell into the traps and arms of sophisticated criminals, and the 39-year-old from Widnes had 3 charges of misconduct in public office. She was sentenced to 18 months in prison at Liverpool Crown Court in 2023. She became a prison officer in 2019. She also pled guilty to accessing police information on a computer. The court heard that all 3 men had mobile phones, and instead of reporting them, she swapped thousands of texts and calls with the men. Some of them were of an intimate sexual manner. The information that was given by the officer, so when he seized the phone, this was the information that led to the conviction of the prison guard and also exposed everybody that was involved in this. The judge in the case of Williams said, "You compromised your position and everybody else in terms of safety on the wing." The judge said that they received a tip-off, and this would have been the mobile phone that was seized, and they raided her home, and they found that she had details of gang members, some of them rivals to the inmates, and also transferred money to some of the prisoners. Forensic examination of her phones found that she had 12,000 calls and texts with one prisoner, 9,500 with another, and 1,200 with a third. Williams' lawyer Matthew O'Neill said she had a personality disorder which may have impaired her decision making. She said she had a diagnosis of bipolar, and the court heard that 3 of the inmates were serving sentences of over 12 years for firearms and other offences. So with Williams going to prison, Elias Morgan was furious, and it took him 4 years to find his revenge, but in 2024, Morgan shot Mr. Scott 6 times in the head and body after fleeing the scene on an electric bike. Evidence presented by the prosecution showed that Morgan had scouted out places he believed Mr. Scott may be as he planned the murder. On the 3rd of January 2024, Morgan travelled with other people to Mr. Scott's home address. They also scouted a gym nearby in Speck and previously used by Mr. Scott and the gym on Peel Road. As a part of the planning, a van had been parked at the end of a cul-de-sac where he lived. It was a short distance from the gym. Morgan travelled from Liverpool to Skelmersdale on the day of the murder in a Mercedes vehicle that was registered to his mother, leaving it a short distance away from where the van was parked. And following the murder, Morgan rode an electric bike across footpaths and across fields to avoid detection. He loaded it into the van that had been there for days, and Morgan was arrested on the 22nd of February 2024, and he made a no-comment interview and went on to plead not guilty in court. Following a trial at Preston Crown Court on the 29th of August, Morgan was convicted of murdering Lenny Scott, and the sentencing takes place on the 2nd of September. Wendy Logan, the deputy head of the CPS's complex case unit, said, "Lenny Scott was a devoted father who bravely held his duty when working as a prison officer by reporting an illicit phone that he found in Elias Morgan's cell in 2020. He did so in the face of attempts of bribery and also threats and intimidation. Morgan was driven by revenge and believing that he was above the law and carried out a cold-blooded murder. We were determined to deliver justice and see Morgan brought to the book for his evil crime, and our case sets out in clear terms how he planned and carried out the callous acts." And this story definitely goes to show that doing the right thing can sometimes result in getting yourself or your family put in danger. And he did definitely notify authorities that he was worried about his life. He said that he knew that people was outside his house waiting for him, and he was definitely aware of the threat that had remained all them years later. So my condolences to the family of Lenny Scott, and I look forward to hearing what viewers have to say on this story. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow on social media as well at Scarcity Studios, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.